Check it.
What it was about, hip hop.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
No, you had Colonel Abrams going, woo, 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 woo. It's been so many years.
Your boy was Alexander O'Neal.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
Oh, I play it right into the ground. I had this tendency of just playing songs over and over and over. And this girl looked at me. She goes, her name was Carol. She said, "Are you trying to hint at something?" I said, "No." But it didn't help that she had blue contacts in her eyes and she had some, in her hair and her eyes. So I just looked like, no, I'm not talking about you through the song. I like the song, but evidently it must be getting to you. So
the shoe fits.
yeah, wear it.
Yeah, you crazy.
I was a big time Alexander O'Neal and Colonel Abrams fan. And don't forget my boy.
I already know who you're gonna say.
Caribbean Queen, Billy Ocean.
Who?
Billy Ocean.
Billy Ocean? I didn't really get into Billy Ocean.
That step he had, 1, 2, and we live in the same dream.
Nah, he didn't do it for me.
No, because you guys were into the hip hop scene.
Whose house? Run's house.
Yeah.
That's what we was doing.
I need a beat.
Yeah.
The remix though, not the original. The remix.
Yeah. That was that. And in my era, girls were crazy about Keith Sweat.
Oh yeah, he was a man. He was a man.
And that same girl, Kara, she goes, "Oh, I just love Keith Sweat." I'm like, "What? All he's doing is whining."
Yeah, he couldn't sing a lick. To me, he couldn't sing a lick.
Give it to me now, girl. Yeah.
Good music.
Like, whatever.
But
he had a whoever was the producer for the music was definitely on key.
Yeah.
So, guys, how are we tonight? Brian?
I am doing well. No complaints. March Madness is going on. We got that. We got free agency signing going on. NBA is coming in the home stretch. I'm good. Sports-wise, this is it.
And Terry, a.k.a. the Iceman, how are you?
I'm good, man. You know, I was hurting last week, a little sick, under the weather. You know, you guys didn't let me rest up, but, you know, I did what I had to do. I sweated it out, and I'm back, man. I'm feeling better, much better.
No rest for the week.
Yeah.
You know? No vacation days, no sick time over here, so
this
I'm
ain't
back.
No place for no hero. This ain't no place for the better man.
And we got Debbie Gamble's in the house. And
Debbie Deb, what's going on?
Keith Sweat was that dude.
Yes, he was.
He was that dude. Keith Sweat. Well, what was your favorite Keith Sweat song, Deb? Tell us that. Let us know.
Yeah.
I don't know your favorite Keith Sweat song.
Gotta be Make It Last Forever.
That's what I'm thinking. But you know what? He had a couple other joints too. But yeah.
He did.
I'm curious to see.
Yeah, moving right along from him. Talking
You sound like a hater.
Hater. If you think I'm going to sit up here all night and talk about, oh, yeah, I just love myself some Keith Sweat, you got another thing coming. Moving right along. Terry, tell me about the subscribe button, if you please.
All right, hater.
Yep.
XO Sports Talk would like to thank our viewers, listeners, and subscribers for their support. If this is your first time tuning in on YouTube, the show is also streaming on all your favorite podcast platforms, Google, Spotify, and iHeart. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and rumors going on in the world of sports, hit that subscribe button, press the like button, and tap that notification bell. And you can share our channel with your friends and family by clicking on the share button. So feel free to join in on tonight's conversation by jumping in the live chat like Deb did, or you can call 475-221-5006 to join in on the convo.
Yeah.
All right. Deb.
Yeah,
We're-
thanks, Deb. I appreciate you being glad I'm feeling better because these guys over here, they're rough. I feel like I'm working for Nike.
we pay no
suck
sick
it
days.
out.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, why don't you just go to the sweatshop? You'll be all right.
Oh yeah. As you talk about Nike, I want to see that Nike movie too, though. As you talk about that,
Yeah,
I'm
it looks
curious
good.
about that. Yeah,
Looks
I can
good.
only
It's
imagine.
real good.
So, guys, we got the NCAA Cinderella tournament on the way. How's your brackets looking, Terry?
Mine's looking okay because as I mentioned last week, I had picked Memphis as one of my Cinderella teams, even though they haven't played yet. But they're going to be a dangerous team as the 8th seed over in the East region. They are what I'll say a seasoned team, and they're very athletic. They have their small forward, Kendrick Davis. He's 26 years old. Yeah, you heard it right.
wow.
He's a
really?
26-year-old small forward, but he's averaging 17.3 points a game and 8 rebounds a game for Memphis. And I think he's going to play a big part in them winning some games and getting into the later rounds in this tournament. So I kind of envision them sort of like North Carolina over the past 2 years. Didn't have a great regular season, but they were able to put together a run in the tournament. And I think I see them at least getting to the second round, and I think they can give Purdue a run for their money too if they can advance. Only because Purdue kind of towards the end of the season, they kind of fell off, and honestly, I feel like they're the weakest number 1 seed in the tourney this year.
Ooh,
So
wow.
we'll see what my boy Penny can do. Penny Hardaway, that is. But yeah, my bracket's looking good, man.
Ooh, modest,
I-
humble.
Just to add to that, I had Furman out of Greenville, South Carolina, beating Virginia in my bracket, and they won by 1 point today. So a number 13 seed over in the South region. So they're a good team. They're one of the most efficient teams in the tourney, and they can shoot the tray ball. So they're gonna be I think they go up against Virginia next, and it's gonna be tough because I think Virginia's missing one of their best players in their center. I think his name is Ben Vanderplas. So he's hurting right now with some type of hand injury. So I think if they could beat Virginia, I think they'd either face San Diego or Charleston, who are both beatable teams. So they could advance pretty far. But we'll see. But right now, I'm looking good. I'm sitting purdy, we'll say.
Yeah, Purdy, huh?
Sitting purdy. Okay, purdy. Brian.
Yeah, I'm looking over mine. It don't look too bad. Didn't have the Furman. I did not have that. But as we look at the teams that are playing now, Duke, like they're in firm control of what they're doing. Alabama took care of their business in the first round. Waiting to see what Michigan State does because I always see them regular season. They seem to play well, but not great. But when it comes to March Madness, Michigan State always seem to try to find a way to play better ball. And the Izzo team is going to play tough and gritty as well. But other than that, my bracket doesn't look too bad. And waiting for the later round games, I'm looking to see what Iowa does against Xavier. That's a game I'm keeping my eye out on. I got Iowa coming out of that one. But I got those two teams kind of going a little further, so I want to see how that game play out. Yeah.
I was hurt that
Mm,
Carolina didn't make it, but they didn't deserve to make it.
Yeah.
no. Yeah. They. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So now they only have themselves to blame. They only have themselves to blame because I don't know, because they brought back pretty much the same squad, but to me, I mean, I just looked and it was just shoot threes, and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are not Golden State. Ease up on it, but they didn't ease up on it. But unfortunately, live by the three, die by the three,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
say la vie.
I want to also give I mean, they seem to do this every year, almost every year in the tourney, but give a shout out to Princeton. Number
Yeah.
15 seed Princeton upsetting Arizona.
Yeah.
Number 2 seed earlier today. They beat Arizona. Princeton beat Arizona 59-55. They're
Yep.
always a tough out in the tourney.
And I did not have that on my bracket.
I did not either. I did not either. Not
but-
against the number 2 seed. but-
Yeah.
Princeton has always been a wild card
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they play sound fundamental basketball, and if you come out there sloppy,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
they can take you out. They've always been that way, and coaches in the past, I forgot the name of the coach for Princeton, and he went on to be an assistant in the NBA.
Sacramento.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they always played fundamental basketball. And if you fell asleep and you came out and didn't respect them, you were on your way home early. And Princeton's always played tough. And fell asleep. And now they're all on the bus and they're headed back home to Arizona, where the weather is about 85 degrees and nice and sunny.
Good to say that. Yep. And we give a shout out to
Yeah.
Howard too. They lost, but just for being there, want to give them
Yeah.
a shout out for just representing HBCU. So
Yeah. Well, they gave Duke a nice.
Yeah.
They gave Duke a
Pete.
nice. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say Pete Carroll was that
Yes.
Princeton coach, and then he went
Yes.
to Sacramento.
yep.
And here's one for the guys and ladies out there. Pete Carroll went on to coach Sacramento, and Pete Carroll told Weber
Mm-hmm.
he did not like Carmelo Anthony's game.
Mm.
And he said he got into a debate with him. He said, you cannot win with Carmelo Anthony's game.
Yeah.
And Weber didn't say anything. He just said, I found what he told me very interesting.
Yeah.
And I always remember that because Weber is a very bright, intelligent basketball player, and he when he started breaking down what Pete Carroll said about his game, it always stuck with me that Carmelo will never be anything, and it always showed in his game. To me, it was always about him. Team was second.
He came in that era where it was kind of ISO ball.
There's a thing of isolation basketball, but I never thought Carmelo played smart until he was playing around LeBron and those guys in a All-Star game or in the Olympics. Then you saw him go, okay, I got to play some team ball, because those guys were going to demand you're going to play team ball, or we ain't going to pass you the ball. We're going to ignore you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why couldn't he get that when he was playing with his team in the NBA? He would play like that in the Olympic team, but he would never
Mhm.
play like that for his
Well,
NBA team.
well, everybody had to adjust when they played for the Olympic team. You're around nothing but
Yeah.
all-stars and greatness right there. But
I think there's. Oh, go ahead.
T. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you just make adjustments, and then I was thinking of some of the teams that he played with. I'm thinking maybe Denver may have been one of the best collective team that he was on, but he was raw and young then. And
Yeah.
most players that raw and young, only thing you're thinking about is scoring. That's all you thought about then.
Right.
So, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sue on that Olympic team, there's a trust factor there because you know that you're playing with guys that are on your level, or if not, a little bit above your level as far as knowledge of the game and the skill that it takes to put the ball on the hoop. And so, of course, you're going to adjust your game because if I make a pass to this guy, he's going to knock down the shot 9 times out of 10. So, like Brian said, he came in an era where there was some ISO basketball that was being played a lot. And I don't want to take anything away from him. He was a very skilled scorer.
Mhm.
Maybe what ended up kind of hurting him, and we talked about it last week, is that Jim Boeheim zone defense. Some
Mhm.
people will say that he never learned the fundamentals of defense, and being in a system that is not necessarily structured around you playing individual defense may have hurt him a little bit.
Mhm.
That's where a lot of people take away from his game is defensively. But then again, who knows if he would have stuck around for 4 years, how he would have turned out defensively. But
That's a good point,
I
Terry. That's a
he
good point.
he he was a great player. I mean, he was ready to come into the league when he did. And that's, whatever his situation was financially, I don't know. But at that point, I think he won a championship. So he
Mhm.
had accomplished what every player, when they come into college, wants to do. So I still think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Aaron, we know you don't like him, but,
Nope.
you know, like Brian said, if the most talented team he was on was Denver, and then there was some money talk that led him to the Knicks, and by that time they had basically given away all their talent, so he was basically playing. I don't want to take anything away from the players who were there, but there wasn't anyone really on his skill level by the time he got to the Knicks. Unfortunately,
I don't care.
Hey, Aaron, let me ask you a quick question.
Yep.
What's the difference between Carmelo and Allen Iverson? Do you?
Two that never won a champ. Nope. I'll put it like this. The difference between Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson, the answer to that is nothing. It's 0.
What do you mean?
If you divide 1 by 1, and what do you get, Brian?
No, I'm
Divide
just saying.
1
So
by
you
1, and
saying
what do you get?
So you saying they're nothing?
No. You divide 1 by 1, and what do you get? What's your answer?
Gonna get one. So I'm just saying.
Exactly. They're one individual players that only care about their stats. The only person that was able to help Allen Iverson get to a playoff was Larry Brown. Larry Brown realized that Allen Iverson was a very selfish player. He's a talented player, but selfish player. And he knew in order to get this guy to an NBA championship, he had to put people around him that was going to play defense and rebound. offensive rebounds
Mhm.
and give the ball right back to Allen Iverson, or put the ball back in the rim for a high percentage shot because they're right under the basket.
Mhm.
Allen Iverson didn't believe in practice. And if you go back to Carmelo Anthony's career, there was always rumors that he never listened to any coach, that he thought he was smarter than coaches.
Yeah. Well,
Now, do you guys remember that?
yeah. I don't want to get too deep
Yeah,
into it, but I'm just gonna say
okay.
he was a great
You
player.
just
He was
said-
still a great
No,
player.
no, but here we go. You had a player in Carmelo who didn't listen to the coach. You had a player in Allen Iverson who said, practice? Come on, really? You talking about practice?
Yeah. Oh.
It equals out. Losers. You're never going to win anything. Case
Okay.
closed. Yeah, well, hey, you came at me.
I don't even know how we got on that, Carmelo Anthony. I don't even know how we got there. We was talking about collegiate. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You came at me, and I don't know. I got to defend myself, you know.
Still Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
So you saying nothing, but they're Hall of Famers.
No, I put them in the Hall of Fame, but when you would go to look at their plaques, it would be all the way down near the men's room.
So I guess
That's all
that
I
means
got.
Barkley would be there. Karl Malone would be there.
Karl Malone, yeah.
You say all
Here's
that?
the problem. Karl Malone, I give this for Karl Malone. Karl Malone went up against Michael Jordan. Karl Malone went up against Magic and those guys.
Mhm.
So he always had a block preventing him to get to the NBA. I mean, when you take a look at Karl Malone,
Now
John
you
Stockton,
might also throw a whole bunch of players in there. Yeah.
but yeah, you brought him up.
No, I said you're saying
Yeah,
never won a championship.
I'm not saying I'm saying that Karl Malone was a team player because he had to learn to do the pick and roll.
Mhm.
And so they had Stockton, Hornacek, and Malone. They had that pick and roll down to the T.
Well, I'm not going to. Well, I would say he was a team player, but the offense ran through them too.
Yeah, but the thing about it is they were a team. Hornacek, Stockton, Malone. Who else did they have on Utah?
No, they had players. I know what you're saying.
Tag.
Yeah.
Big Mark Eaton.
But if you think about it,
they had a team, but he played within the team concept. Carmelo Anthony, and when you talk about Allen Iverson, it was isolation basketball.
But that's the way Larry Brown had it, right?
But Larry Brown had no other choice to get defensive players around.
You could have traded them.
What was it? Defensive players around Allen Iverson who were not going to be selfish because Iverson was going to be selfish.
Okay.
If a man doesn't think he needs to go to practice, then that tells you something about him right there.
Okay. All right.
He was young,
let's
man.
go,
We were all young.
You guys go ahead and
let's
say that
go,
all day. I'm not buying it.
This is Exos Wars.
Hey.
We'll have to put that in the NBA preseason edition.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now that you guys got under my skin, NCAA women's basketball tournament. Terry.
For me, it's really nothing much more than I could say that I'm rooting for South Carolina to win it all, go undefeated,
live in Connecticut
win the championship. I do. And with that being said, I'll give you my final four picks, in which I have South Carolina, LSU, UConn, and Iowa in the women's Final Four. So I'm not discrediting UConn. I'm rooting for them, but South Carolina is that machine that UConn once was, as well as those tough Tennessee teams with Pat Summitt. Dawn Staley has those girls playing really good basketball. Been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
Pat Summitt, that intense look on the sidelines. She was truly a great coach. I think she could have coached. I think she could have coached men's basketball, whether it was college or NBA. I think she would have been. I think she would have been awesome.
Yeah, she was a great coach. Very great coach.
Yeah.
Brian.
I'm hoping UConn can get there. I'm hoping they can, but I don't have them there. But I'm hoping they can. Well, I am looking for, being a sports connoisseur as I am, and to see history. I would like to see South Carolina go undefeated season, win the championship. That would be something to see. So I'll just give you my Final Four. I have South Carolina. I have Iowa, and I have UConn losing to Virginia Tech, actually. And I got Indiana. I got South Carolina, Iowa, Virginia Tech, Indy.
Nice. I'm going to save mine for next week. Like to get it down a little bit.
Next week it'll be 32. I'm on 16. What you talking about?
Hey. Come on, man. Take some chances.
Nope.
Fill that bracket out.
Yeah.
I like to say this is where we should be.
Yeah, folks. He filled his bracket out with a pencil.
Yeah.
No,
we give you lottery 6 numbers. We give you 4.
It was with invisible ink. There's no shame to my game.
Oh, man.
Guys, what are your Final Four picks for the men?
Oh, what?
Who are you asking?
Who you going with?
Since it's 1 divided by 1, so let's go with Terry.
Well, that leaves 1. What do you think?
Yep. My Final Four, Alabama, Duke, Kansas, and Texas. And I'll hold off, but I already have my favorite. I'll hold off.
Brian.
And I had thought about Duke too, T, but I had to pick somebody to get upset, and I didn't have them. So I had Tennessee beating them. So I got Tennessee, Alabama, Houston, and get this, because of the way the bracket is,
write that
I
down.
got UConn. Men.
Okay.
I got them in the Final Four. Believe it or not.
He must have some inside information, folks.
Yup. So go to DraftKings right now. And if you lose, I don't know nothing.
If you lose, the good thing is you can play again.
Yeah, if you win, I want a piece. Just give me a little slice. Or say, give me some potato chips. Give me a little bit.
That's it.
I got one for
You got
next week.
Oh man, look at this guy.
Man,
just chop it down to 32, man. And now give me a chance to pick a team. Yeah.
Yep. That's how you play to win.
Yeah.
And you know what? With FanDuel and all those other guys, you don't have to do it the first time around. Got next week.
Yeah.
Odds are better.
Oh man, you gotta put the money down, man.
Yeah. I'm putting the money down. I'm putting the money on me.
Yep. See, there you go, Carmelo.
I know, right? Yeah.
You can say it all day, and it's no shame to me, none whatsoever. If you think you're gonna hurt my feelings, I can go to work and get that.
Yeah, I do miss what's the name. Didn't what's the name pass away? Who did the college games? Is it Rafferty?
Bill Raff? Was it Bill Raff? I don't know.
He passed away because, well, obviously today it was working, but I didn't get to watch as many games as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Is it Rafferty or is it Bill? Not Bill.
Things change.
Oh, he was the announcer.
Yeah, he was an announcer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he was the announcer for CBS.
I can't. Is Rafferty or Bill?
Bill Raftery.
Bill Rafferty.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's what I'm saying. He was like
let's see.
He was like a Marv Alberts or.
Yeah, he was there. He was there in the era of and he ran CBS Sports. I can see his name. He's now with ABC, but it had dawned on me. He used to do CBS Today. I can see his Brett.
Brett Musburger?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was around that era.
Yeah. Yep.
No, Bill is still with us. He's set to call the tournament games.
I wonder if it was Packer.
Alongside Jim Nance.
Jim Nance. That's who I was thinking. That's who you was talking about, Aaron, I believe, right?
No, this
talking
guy
about
was
Brent Musburger?
older.
No.
Yeah, Musburger used to call tournament games.
He did too?
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Brent
Billy.
Brent Musburg was CBS.
Yeah.
He used to do the CBS Today show, tournaments and stuff. He was before Jim Nance.
Yeah.
And he had a big problem. His brother was his agent.
Wow.
And his brother went in there saying, we need more money, and he's the face. And CBS told him, you know what? Your brother's done.
Oh.
And eventually ABC took him on, but it was pretty ugly. Guys, we're gonna get back to college basketball, but you got a mad frenzy in the NFL.
Yeah.
Garoppolo goes to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Garoppolo got a 3-year deal at $72 million with the Raiders, including $11 million signing bonus, $45 million guaranteed, an average salary of $24 million. Terry, too high or too low?
First of all, let me just say I'm happy for him. Good to see. I mean, he did a lot for the 49ers. I'm not sure if he'll ever get his due credit. We'll see in terms of if it was too much, because obviously the concern there is his injury history. But I will say this is his chance to prove himself as one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I won't say elite, but one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and joining the Raiders. I think if he remains healthy, he can play well and get that team some wins. But again, the big concern there is health. And I wish him the best, though. But I think we won't be able to reflect back and say too much money until we see how healthy he stays.
Mm-hmm. Brian,
this is to me too much. I think he's paid too much. That's what I'll start off with. It's like or you got a good cake, you got some bad frosting on it, it just ruins the whole cake to me. To me, Jimmy G, well, we'll find out what he is. But to me, I think he's in a predicament where he left a team that was stacked defensively. Offensively, they had a lot of talent. He's going to a team that has a star wide receiver, but I'm going to say you have a question mark at the coaching. Because if you look, I think Josh Daniel, he may call his own plays with the Raiders.
Yeah, he will.
He does, right? With him, and you talking about Kyle Shanahan, who's the better play caller? I think Terry would agree. I think it's probably Kyle. So Jimmy G's losing out on that. And I just don't think the Raiders, their defense, they still made enough improvement. So you talking about they're going to have to score a lot of points. I don't see them being able to do that. So I don't really see that correlate coming out or equaling to any more wins. So they're going to be in the same predicament if he even stays healthy the whole season. So
that's the thing.
Mm. Well, I look at it like this. You gave $72 million to, what's his name? Garoppolo. I think that was a bad mistake. You push Carr out.
Mm-hmm.
Carr's been more healthy. To me, they're both about equal.
Mm-hmm.
You push Carr out for Garoppolo, who can't stay healthy. Whatchamacallit is a durable quarterback. Derek Carr. So you pushed him out for Garoppolo because you had Garoppolo when he was with New England. And if we recall, he did pretty good in New England, and he went down to San Francisco for a second-round pick. And then down in San Francisco, he blew out his knee. Mm-hmm. And then it's always been this injury, that injury. So to say, we're going to give you $24 million in annual salary, and you can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And you're in a division with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yep.
And then you got Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You could have saved your money and just went and try to move up in the draft and get a quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that goes just to show you how fractured the relationship was between Daniels and Carr.
Yeah.
You know,
Daniels is not a good coach.
Nope.
There's some guys that are good leaders in being a coach, and there's some guys that are good at being an offensive coordinator, because that's all they have to focus on is being the offensive coordinator. This move right here, the Raiders are going to regret it.
Yep.
I do not see, and I could be wrong, but when I take a look at when you have somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo who's plagued at injuries, you better have a stout offensive line to protect him.
Yep.
If you don't have a stout offensive line to protect him, he's going down. And the Raiders do not have enough talent to compete against the Chargers. They don't have enough talent to compete against
Kansas City.
Nope. And don't be surprised if they're not better than Denver, because Denver's defense wasn't that bad. The offense, the head coach wasn't calling the right system for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's a factor. We'll see on that one.
I think Russell Wilson is going to go back to form, because one thing I would say about Sean Payton, he can take Winston, the other kid Hill, and and have them perform.
Yeah. That's what I
And
said. I hope so.
Yep. And sometimes, to me, what makes a great offensive coordinator, don't show me your offensive playbook for a quarterback. Show me how you can create an offense for a quarterback that has different skills.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's an offensive coordinator. The ones that say, this is my playbook, you got to go by it. You know what? You're dead in the water, because if they don't have any talent, that offensive playbook means nada.
Nada.
Um,
I'm just doing some ad-libbing for you. Man.
Oh, thank you.
Remember that in Superman?
No,
I
that was the
remember
one with Christopher Reeves and Gene Hackman, and that's at the very end. And Gene Hackman was like, he was saying, I forgot what he was saying, and the other guy was just repeating them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the lady that was with Lex, and Lex had the two nukes, and she said, Lex, but where that nuke is going to hit, that's where my mother lives. And he looked at her like, not good for your mom.
Yeah.
He wasn't changing the direction. That was a classic movie with
shout out
Gene Hackman and
Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves, yeah.
One of the better Superman's movies all time. 1 and 2. We ain't gonna go into the other ones, but just 1 and 2.
We were gonna stop it there.
That's what I said. 1 and 2. That's it.
I would go with you know what? I got to go with the first one. Number 2 was probably one of the best sequels for that Superman franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of all of them.
Yeah. And for that time frame, and no green screen and all that, the graphics, the flight scenes were awesome.
And here's the kicker. I'm mad that they got rid of that kid. What's his name? Henry
Cavill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I Hollywood, man.
Yeah, man. Those Superman movies were good.
Superman. I thought the scripts always sucked.
That's what I said. The scripts were awful, so it didn't matter who you had up there. I could have been Superman.
Yeah, and I loved him. I loved him at the end of Black Adam, and he says, "We need to talk." And I was like, "Okay, let's see some fighting." But
cancel.
Yeah, they had something there. They might have had something there.
Well, we'll talk about that another day. Geno
Shazam.
Yeah, has a strong enough encore to his comeback player of the year this season. The Seattle Seahawks quarterback can earn a significantly more than $25 million per base value of his 3 years, $75 million contract. Terry, are you happy for Geno?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. He had a good season last year. Like he said, people wrote him off and he didn't write back. So it's good to see him get compensated for his play. I hope he has a good year next year. Not too successful because my Niners are in that division. But we'll see. We'll see if this was just last year was just his year, or this is something where he's made a turnaround in his play and he can be consistent with it. I think Seattle, they need a number 2 wide receiver to go along with Metcalf. I definitely think that they need to get. I know, right? They had Lockett, but I don't think he's the answer. So they need to get another wide receiver down there.
Well, Brian.
Well, they got the picks to do it. So
there you go.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll. One thing you can't say, he tends to seem to draft well. or evaluate
Mhm.
talent. He tends to do that.
And get the most out of talent out of the players that he has too.
Yeah. So, and as for Geno, sometimes, you know, you could be gifted and talented, but you could just be in a bad situation. Because if you have a talented quarterback, which he was with the Jets, and it was awful, and the organization wasn't really structured well at that time. So now you get to see him with a good coach, solid foundation system. You see what happened with his game, it elevated. You've seen what happened to Russell Wilson, who game just kind of fell off when he left that system and structure. So sometimes it's just the environment and it's the coaching. Another case in point, just look at Jacksonville. Their rookie quarterback when they had what was the other coach that they had? They fired out of there. What's his name, man?
It was just recent.
What's that?
The head coach for Jacksonville at that time. Oh crap! I can't even think of his name.
Say that again.
The head coach for Jacksonville that got fired.
Oh, the head coach that got fired for Jacksonville.
Yeah. But anyway, as you get to see what happens when you're in a bad situation, you have a number 1 pick quarterback who looked like he was descending. Then Jacksonville go and get a good head coach, and then you see him make progress. So that's what I was just saying. So it's good for Geno, and hopefully his career could stay on a nice trajectory, and he can kind of redeem himself because he was a high pick.
Yeah, yes he was. Hopefully he squared up on all his debts. So. Had to get that in there.
You gotta slide that in there. Oh, yeah, yo, give my money, man. Oh man, yeah. But sometimes you have to just let things happen. Learn from experience.
That's it.
The Jacksonville head coach that got fired. I don't remember his name.
Urban Meyer. Is it Urban Meyer?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Urban Meyer. That's what I couldn't. I was like,
yep.
Yeah.
That was the year before.
But yeah, that just goes to show what coaching can do. Because he was almost ruining that kid's career.
Yeah. And they had talent.
Yeah.
Well, here was the thing. You take a look at Urban Meyer's. To me, he's a college coach.
Yeah.
He wasn't really good with quarterbacks.
No.
But
just like what's is a good college coach. Bama. Who's Bama the head coach? College.
God, I can't think of it.
Come on, nobody know?
Say that again.
Bama's head coach.
Oh, Nick Saban.
Nick Saban. Yeah, I think he's a college coach. I don't think he's an NFL coach.
No, but the money's there in college.
Yeah.
And when I'm taking a look at Seattle right now, Seattle's in good shape in the first round.
Oh yeah.
Seattle has a 20th pick in the first round, and they have another pick. Without my glasses, I can't see it.
That's their highest pick in the first round. Is it 20? Denver was worse than that.
Weird.
Sure about that?
In the first round, you have Carolina. Number 2 is Texans.
We ain't gonna ride through all 20 of them, are we?
Why not? Let's take a ride.
Oh man,
anywhere.
It's dark outside, man.
Arizona, the Colts. Number 5 is Seattle.
See, there you go. I was about to say they had to have a higher pick than that.
The number 5, and then they have the number 20.
There we go. That sounds right.
And I think that number 5 came from Denver.
That's from Denver. Yeah, I was like Denver stunk, so I was like it had to be a high pick. And so truth be told, they could probably slide that down a couple of notches and maybe even get 3 first-round pick. Because what are they gonna take? Well, no. Indiana, I think, picked before them, right? Because Indiana
Indiana's
need
going for a quarterback.
they need a quarterback. Yeah, that's what I think. They
Yeah.
might be 4. Because if they're 4, then if they were ahead of Indiana, then I think they can do a trade.
They
But I
can
think
make that
Indiana's,
move. Yeah.
I think Indiana's before them.
Yeah, they have the Seattle has a two first round picks in the first round, and then they have 2 picks in the second round.
Oh, they good. They don't have to move. They can stay right where they are.
Yeah, I think they're basically saying we can put so much talent on this team because this is supposed to be a highly lot of talent in this draft that they can just I think they're basically going to tell Geno, just don't crash the car.
Don't be surprised if he
Yep.
take the D lineman from Georgia. Don't be surprised. See, yeah.
I don't think at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could fall there.
Yeah.
And he can fall there, or you know what? He can fall there, or that Carter can wind up falling with Detroit at number 6.
Yeah.
And now you've got a pass. They drafted Detroit drafted a pass rusher last year, and that'll give them another pass rusher.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they're going to do. But I was really surprised about Mama That Bad Man is leaving Green Bay. We didn't talk about it last week because we didn't think he was going to go.
Still don't know if he's going.
He's going. Yeah. I think Green Bay is basically saying we're going to hold on to him until you give us a king's ransom. And I wouldn't give him a king's ransom.
No, I'm not giving him a ransom.
I'd give them a second round pick.
Yep. And that's all I'll do.
Second round pick. And if they go to in the AFC championship, then I'll give you a second round pick the next following year. Other than that, no can do.
Yeah. They got some yeah. And I don't like the whole optics of this. I don't like it. He's already making confusion. He ain't even on the team yet.
You know what? Yeah.
And this is a young team, and you trying to build a culture, and you don't want that.
But that's Go ahead, Terry.
I was just gonna say he's out of there. Only because if you look back at last season, he was never invested. And it was one of those things. I really feel like he was like, "Oh, you guys gonna pay me? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll take the money. Why not?" But I don't even think he wanted to be there last year. But they offered him money to stay. He took the money, and he was never really invested from day one, before the season even started. So I think Green Bay, they're in a situation where they realize they got to move. You know.
Yeah. I think it's weird that he would want to follow right behind Brett Favre.
Yeah. It's so ironic.
And go to the Jets. I think he could have been a little bit more humble, and the talent was there in Miami. I would have been knocking on the door to play in Miami. Miami's got a good defense. Miami's has the weapons. That's where I would be going.
But one thing I'll say is, he could be looking at it. If he goes to Miami, we know he's Aaron Rodgers, but he might clash with the young coach there. You know, that coach is considered to be a offensive guru. He can go to the Jets where you have
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh, right? Who's a defensive guy, right? So if Aaron Rodgers gets to the line and calls an audible, I don't believe Saleh is going to say, "What are you doing?" Because he's not an offensive guy that I know of. Whereas you go down to Miami, I'm not going to
Miami.
call their coach cocky, but he was on those 49er teams that were successful. And now you come out the huddle, you see something you don't like and you call audible, and you are not seeing the same things
Mm-hmm.
coming out of that huddle. It could be potential problems. I think he's going there also, kind of as the man, and he knows it. And he wants that freedom to be able to call audibles whenever he wants to. I don't think he wants to. At this point in his career, I don't think he wants to be coached. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Here's the thing. When you've played that long, you've seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen crazy defensive schemes to try to rattle you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it gets to a certain point, they know what's coming at them. They know what kind of exotic blitz you're coming at them with. The only thing a quarterback cannot stop is a pass rush when it's coming from the front four.
Mm-hmm.
He's got no control over that. But if it's when a wide receiver's on a corner and he's got some time, he'll say, "Okay, I'm going to try to throw that ball in the window."
Mm-hmm.
But he cannot control an offensive line if he cannot get protected, no matter how good you are.
Yep.
So
I don't
know. That's my personal feelings. I don't understand what Miami's doing down there. They're going to go with Tua. They pick up the 5th-year option on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they just signed the Jets backup quarterback, Mike White, and they gave him $16 million.
Under the situation
for 2
that they
years.
didn't pick up nobody, like a prolific quarterback like a Lamar or Rodgers, I thought White was a good pickup. Because I thought Mike White played well for the Jets.
Yep.
And I thought it was a good thing they did for Tua. To pick up you're picking up the option, you see what happened. Because if you didn't pick him up, to me, for what he did and the way they did him, I thought it was an honorable thing to do.
Yeah,
because they put him out there they put him out there and they knew he shouldn't have been out there.
I would have picked up Tua, and just for how personally with Tua, his parents should have told him, "You're not playing another game. We're going to file a lawsuit against the NFL, and you're going to live out your days comfortable." That kid should never have been back on the field again after what the NFL did to him. That was just insane.
You mean what the Dolphins did?
Mm-hmm.
No,
the NFL.
The NFL should have. The Dolphins is under the NFL shield.
Yeah.
And so the NFL was supposed to step in and say, enough. You're not going to do this to this kid, because if this kid gets hurt, the money is coming out of the other owner's pocket for that lawsuit. And so, when you got your hands crawled up like that, no, there was no reason for that kid to come back and play. Because what he's faced in that game there and the hits that he's going to get down the road, I probably won't see it in my lifetime, but that kid is going to be in terrible shape.
Yeah.
He's going to.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. Well, you just
Yeah.
hope, for the best, and you hope that's not the case, and hopefully he can live a full, healthy life. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys this. I'm going to start with Terry. Do you think they're going to give Lamar his money in Baltimore, or where do you see him going if they don't sign him?
I don't think he's gonna get his money, unfortunately. And I don't. The way it's looking right now, I don't think he is going to go be anywhere. I think he's gonna get that tag. And I don't think I like I said last week, I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I don't think the owners are ready to pay quarterbacks what they should be paid on a Deshaun Watson level. They're not ready for it. They don't want it. And I think he'll be with the Ravens going into the season until the end of the next season as well.
Brian.
I think that they gave him what they gave him, which they lowballed him right there. But I think, as kind of what Terry said, I think the NFL in its whole entirety, it doesn't quite smell right when you got quarterbacks, Mike White, you got Baker Mayfield. I'm trying to think of some other ones. You got Sam Darnoldson. You got teams that need quarterbacks. And this is the first time you really have a young quarterback who won an MVP in his young career. And it seemed like no team wants to really go after him.
I think the team that screwed up is Washington. I think Lamar could have gone down into the NFC East, and I think he would have been better than the Giants quarterback. I think he would have been better than Dak, and it would have been Hurst and Lamar going at it. And the Washington needs a quarterback down there. Jacoby Brissett is he's a good backup quarterback. He's not a good starter. You pay him good backup money. And if I'm a Washington fan down there, I would be saying, wait a minute. We've got money. We're starving. The Giants are so-so. And the Cowboys keep shooting themselves in the foot. And we have the talent on Washington. Why can't we go and get a quarterback?
So I said, I think it's the league.
And Baltimore, you saw what your backup quarterback did in the playoffs.
You're going to see what he's going to do again.
It was ugly. It was pure ugly. So you can go ahead and say, you know what? We're not going to give Lamar Jackson guaranteed money. But I would say, would I give Lamar $200 million guaranteed? No. But I would tell Lamar this, look, I'll give you $130 million guaranteed.
Oh.
I'll give you $140 million guaranteed, but I can't give you $250 because I would say to him, you want $250 guaranteed. How many games did you miss in the last 3 years?
Oh, well, I'm just gonna say this, Aaron. We're on episode 88. At the last part of the show, I want you to remember 200 million guaranteed. What you're saying. I don't know if it'll be before this end of the season ends or it'll be next season, but I guarantee you, Herbert and Burrow will get 200 million guaranteed.
Okay.
That's a guarantee. It's Charles Barkley saying
you heard that here
guaranteed.
first.
Both of them
He's
will
putting
get
$200 million of his money guaranteeing this.
No. There's different language.
No,
You just said guaranteed.
Fully.
No, fully. I mean fully.
Guaranteed.
You saying
that's
fully.
the word.
Over 200. Yeah, fully.
No. Fully guaranteed.
I'm saying they're going to get 200 fully guaranteed. Their contract will probably be more than that, but they're going to be 200 fully guaranteed.
Here's the problem. The owner for the Cincinnati Bengals is a cheap owner. So he's not going to give fully guaranteed. So you can just scratch that right off the board.
When you're saying 200 fully guaranteed, are you talking about what are you talking about?
See, this is Watson's contract. When Watson signed the contract,
he got 230.
He got 230 fully guaranteed.
So that's what I'm saying. So they're going to get.
That means that fully guaranteed means no matter what, if he breaks his ankle or his shoulder, he can't throw the football again. They owe him $230 million.
So are you saying that Burrow and Herbert will not get over 200 or 200 fully guaranteed? That's what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Well, like I said, today is episode 88. And I don't know when they assign their extension because they won't go all the way to the end like Lamar did. And we'll see what they get because I guarantee they get over 200.
I can see them getting 200 guaranteed, but that's the language. 200 guaranteed, 200 million guaranteed means you may have to be on the roster to guarantee to get that money.
No, I'm saying they're going to get 200 fully.
Be at the training training camp to make sure that money's guaranteed. But guys,
and let's not forget, what's the name will be signing a new contract too. He'll be getting an extension. Mahomes. He'll be signing an extension again.
Yep. And we will be back next week to talk more about it. Guys, great show. Hopefully we'll have one of the Musketeers back next week.
The two Musketeers.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should call them, Mounds. Or maybe the Almond Joy's two nuts. I don't know.
Yeah. That's about right. Guys, Terry, tell them about that subscribe button.
Hey, we want to thank everybody for listening and tuning into tonight's show. Again, hit that subscribe button so you can check us out next week. And we'll see if Aaron actually penciled in his picks. Again, penciled in his picks for the tourney. And we will have, hopefully we'll have both the minions back next week. But thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. God bless and good night.
God bless and good night, everyone.
Yes. NCAA madness.
I'm going mad. I'm going crazy.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, the team went down in flames.